There we go. All right. It appears we have audio. So tonight I figured, since I recently got my hands on a Brickmania New York Central kit, that I would spend this evening building it because I don't have much else to do and there's not enough content on my channel. So we got the cover off. There's a very Brickmania box. It's pretty cool. And then on the inside, there's a thank you for your support. Little message and Daniel Siskind. So I won't show too much of the actual process during this because I don't want to get in trouble with the people who designed the kit and printed the instructions, because that would not be good. So it will mostly just be this, and then every so often I will hold up what I have done so far. Hello, Henry. Okay, good. Audio is working. I'll just make it to where I can see comments on screen because that's easier. So how are you doing on this fine evening? Oh, also, I will show off the printed parts. They're very cool. There you go. New York Central, number 18847. I guess I could put the minifigure together as well. I present Kale. Algebra homework, that's an oof. Sorry about that, Henry. So yeah, I have Lego Kale now, which is very neat. Will Glenn be on the stream? Yes, Glenn will be on the stream. He said he was going to be a little late, so it'll probably be in about 5 or 6 minutes, but that's okay. They also sent me this sticker, which I don't know what to do with, but I have it. All right. I don't know what bags I need because they're not numbered, so I just have to look for the pieces in the steps, and we'll figure it out. I also don't know if I will go the whole 2 hours like I said I would. I have no idea how long this is going to take to finish, so we'll figure it out. You got to make memes with the Kale minifig. I don't know how much Kale would appreciate that, but it is a possibility. How are the parts organized into bags? I don't know. I guess I could show it. Like, it's just a bag of parts, and then like some bags have um, larger parts like the big plates, and there's 2 bags of flex tubing. So hopefully showing you one of my part bags doesn't get me a talking to. But yeah, it's fairly straightforward. I just need to look inside them and see what I need in this step. Alright, I was trying to dig through the bag, but it's easier if I just dump it out.
I am here.
Now Glenn is here.
Yes, I am.
Excellent.
How is it so far?
I am on step number 1,
Lovely.
and Henry, I think, is still here, maybe? I don't know.
It looks like he is in the chat.
Yes.
Yo, Henry.
No one knows if it's the real Henry. I'm surprised everyone in the BTD Discord is putting up with our wacky antics.
I certainly wouldn't.
I laugh at that, but if you're serious, then I need to stop.
I don't care that much. I lurk too much. I lurk enough anyway so that I don't see most of it.
We'll cut it out soon.
Yeah, I believe that entirely.
Well, how was your weekend so far?
Pretty good. Ready for it to be over, though. Actually, not ready for it to be over.
Ready for the weekend to be over? Wow.
I meant not ready for the weekend to be over.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. But work tomorrow probably won't be that bad, so I can probably make it.
That's
Isn't it a
good.
school night for you and Henry?
Yeah,
And live streaming on a school night, man.
I am, but I got all my work done,
No, there you go. That's good.
and I'm ending it at 8 p.m. so I can still get an okay amount of sleep.
Way to be.
It might even end before that, depending on
Oh man.
how long this takes me.
I guess we'll find out.
Yep.
I thoroughly enjoyed my caboose kit and the test model as well.
Because you have 2.
I do have 2. I have to figure out what to do with the test model.
1 for each mohawk.
Technically, yes.
Are you gonna get it renumbered so they're different?
Most likely, I will find. I will have one of them visually different. Certainly, at least renumbered
Cool.
or numbered differently. But should be fun.
Yeah.
I have to do the same thing for my prototype boxcar as well.
Yes.
I
The
have too many undecaled pieces right now.
me too.
Unlettered pieces, I guess. Not all of them will use decals exclusively.
Yeah, I always procrastinate on sorting out my decals.
Yeah, I definitely should not. I only go at the speed of my artwork guy, who has always got a lot of other things on his plate as well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the specific class of the caboose, Henry, but I know it's a 24-foot caboose. The New York Central bought them from or acquired them from one of their, I believe it was one of their Ohio subsidiaries. It was not a very big class, but it was a little bit more unique and more to Kale in my tastes than the gun turret style cupola cabooses. So that was the one that we sought out and went after for this project. Did
That's
take
the
us a little
perks
while to
of
find it.
having the design team on hand.
One of them.
Yeah,
I didn't actually have any role in the caboose at all, really. Just creative feedback, but
yeah.
pretty much all Kale. Anyways, do you think you'll be able to get the entire thing done in 2 hours?
Uh, maybe. At the rate I'm going right now, no. Being very slow because I have to sort through all the bags.
Streaming and building does get slow.
Yeah.
That's all right.
I've never like really done this either, both at the same time.
That's true. Yeah, streaming and building. Tough stuff, man. Let's see. Am I working on something right now? Like right at this moment? No. I've had a very relaxing and do nothing kind of Sunday after exhausting myself yesterday.
At the very cool train museum.
Life
I
does
still
get
have,
exhausting.
yeah. One day I will go to Age of Steam.
It just seems a cool place. There's a lot of good museums in the area. Well, kind of the Eastern Ohio, Pennsylvania region. There are actually more like train rides in Eastern Ohio than I had previously thought.
Hmm.
Several operations. Hocking Valley Scenic, I believe Byesville Scenic is still running. The Denison Depot Museum is doing a short train ride. Several over there. I forget. What's that?
Hocking Valley is the one with the 060,
Yeah, the
right?
very small 060.
All right.
Formerly, they had that engine pulling a Superliner passenger car, which
Uh,
was
well, that's
it
very
was
era appropriate.
it wasn't, well, not so much that, but very hard for that engine to do. It is not very big. But they have some plenty more appropriate things for that engine to pull now, so that's good.
Yeah.
But no, to answer your question, no, not working on anything right in this moment. I always have work in progress though, so yes, if that's what you were asking.
Never ending. Once
My
you start
list,
your first model, the work in progress never ends.
mostly.
For me, at least.
The order changes a lot for me,
Yeah.
so part of it.
need to be safer with my camera work here.
I can only see not even the bottom of the letters on your sweatshirt.
Okay, yeah. I just moved it up a little.
Alright, cool. Digital whips are much easier to deal with than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 physical work in progress models. I do not keep track of the digital models that I have in progress. Oh, 7 physical ones. Should have remembered that other one.
Wow, 7 physical in progress at once.
Yep.
I can't keep up with that.
Across all different parts of the country, across all different spectrums of railroading genres.
Right now I have 1 physical model in progress.
The caboose.
Okay, technically 2. This one and a currently under wraps locomotive.
Indeed. I use Autodesk Inventor for designing any 3D printed parts, but there's no reason why something that does not cost you that much money to license shouldn't be just as effective.
I now realize that this says ×2 and I should have built these simultaneously.
Yes. The classic blunder. If you've built the crocodile, it is very easy to just build both of the ends in tandem with each other,
Yeah.
rather than having to go back and do one and then the other separately. Do you have an idea about entering a model into Octrainbird this year?
It depends.
On what?
Well, I have a 240 that I want to get done,
Yes, that one.
but it has a tender.
Hmm.
So would that disqualify it or make it like less of a critter in the judge's eyes, whoever they are?
I don't know the answer to that.
All right. Well, that's okay.
Can't hurt to ask, though.
Right. There's one of these 1x3 inverted tiles.
Yep,
I need to use more of those.
I know exactly what you're building right now.
Well, right now I'm building the end platform, so I just noticed it was in the parts pile.
Oh, okay. Well, you'll get to that then.
Yeah.
No, Kale, it's not done yet.
Oh, Kale is here. Yeah, I just started. Oh, wait, maybe he's referring to something else.
No, he's talking about the caboose.
Okay. Some of these 1x1 circular plates have holes in them and others don't, and I have to figure out. There we go.
Yes. Always the challenge.
Okay.
Like they say in rail preservation, it'll be done when it's done.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all right if you come back later.
You'd miss all the very interesting silence in between each question.
Your stream, not mine.
True.
You keep it going. I'm here for color commentary.
Let's see. Does the Octrainber critter have to be a prototype?
I do not believe that was explicitly defined in the rules.
Okay.
When designing rods, do I design the hole super precise or just round measurements and then drill them out after they get printed? Depends on your printer. You can't necessarily go wrong either way. I tend to have to file some of mine anyways, just because I know the measurements that I have a good range of the measurements that I get from the printers that I usually order from. And more often than not, I do take a round file to some of the inside diameters, which is pretty typical. So if you have a rough measurement, it will probably do, and then you can kind of fine tune it based on what you the results that you see. 3D printers are never that. Hold on. .3D printers are never super precise.
Yet.
And they'll get better. They are frequently getting better.
I'm just waiting for like 5 or 6 years in the future when owning a low-end 3D printer will be like owning a normal paper printer.
I don't. Very well could possibly happen. I just have a very, not a deep hatred, but I don't like inkjet printers. I've hated mine ever since I got it, and I haven't used mine for years.
Ah.
They're designed to break.
Oh boy.
I cannot be convinced otherwise.
That doesn't sound good.
I just hate the design theory that goes into them. Or at least the design theory that I have seen, not proven, but seen that seems to be the case.
Pushing these little round 1x2 plate things onto this flex tube is not going to make my finger sore at all.
It's not that bad.
I think the worst flex tubing I've ever done was probably on 229.
Happens.
That destroyed my fingers.
Does happen.
What steel wire brand would you recommend putting in the middle of bending flex tube?
I've not used wire yet.
Oh, really?
I probably ought to, but I have not used it yet.
Wow. I'm even more impressed with your mohawk detailing now, knowing that that wasn't wired.
I don't believe that there's, at least as far as I can remember, I don't think that there's any like anything like that in there. I could be wrong. It's already been a year, but
Wow, it's been that long already.
yep.
Let's see. I really like the printed sink basin tile.
That was a nice touch.
Are any neat details like that going to be printed separately for like other caboose models that I may have? Or are those strictly for this?
Is I don't understand what you're asking.
Like, are they ever going to separately sell printed sink basin tiles for interiors of whatever?
I don't have an answer to that.
All right.
That would not be a hard part to make, printed by like Richard Gladder or otherwise with a decal.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure that that part from Brick Print Studios would not cost you very much at all. Or something like it.
Right.
What are my thoughts on Lego Technic chain drives for locomotives opposed to gears? Never tried it. Probably don't care to because I know gears work. I would be very interested to see at what how those chains break under stress and at what stress they do break. So if you feel like trying it, go for it. But I probably will not. I am quite happy with the powertrain designs that I have in my design book, if you will. Good questions, though, Henry.
I'm still on page 3.
Progress is slow.
Yes.
Happens. I am glad that they were able to print the lettering and numbering on those parts.
It's very nice.
Yes.
It lets me not have to be mad at my slight decal placement misalignment, which inevitably happens once on every build.
All of the hard work is already out of the way. You might have less friction than a gear drive, but I would certainly assume, just in thinking about it, that a gear drive would be stronger if you anchored in properly. Much less chance for the gears to slip, and of course no chance for a chain to break. Again, I've never tried it, so I could be just completely wrong, but that is just my educated guesses. Educated assumptions, I would say.
I will reevaluate how to make my drivetrains in the future based on the feedback I get on the one I sent you.
Yeah, I have to dive into that one of these days.
That's okay. But chain drive is interesting.
I know a lot of traditional scale models use things like that. Particularly a lot of articulated locomotives. But they have a lot of freedom that we don't.
Right.
Well, that we don't allow ourselves, usually.
I have to find the chain piece.
You're building the end platform railing.
Yes.
Nice.
I must be blind.
Can't find it.
This happens every time. Oh, there it is. Right as I say that.
Yep. I spent 45 minutes looking for a part for my Mohawk build on camera before, so
On camera.
yeah, that was a miserable experience.
Ouch.
I hate that part. No.
I would too. This is upright.
I hope I never have to use it again just for that reason.
Was it really tiny?
No, it was about the size of a 1x4.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was that double-ended handle piece. There is just one of them used in the kit version of the Mohawk, and as such, just one of them in that box and in that sea of parts.
I see.
But in the opposite of my own defense, I should have a white building table and not a black one, so that's on me. Kale has mentioned that to me on more than one occasion.
Right now I have a blue tablecloth build table.
Well, I don't think that there's a single blue part in that caboose kit, so that's probably not a bad idea.
Brake wheel. Woohoo.
Just stress test the train drive. I'll be sticking to gears as well. Well, appreciate the confirmation. I was actually genuinely interested to know the answer.
Huh.
And now we know.
So did one of the links come off of one of the other links, Henry?
Yes, what was the failure mode? Now I gotta wait 9 minutes for him to be able to hear it, the message, and type it out.
Right. Hooray for stream delay.
Yes. Let me type this out. Eagerly awaiting Henry's results.
Much anticipation.
Absolutely.
Very cool. I approve of the end platforms.
Kel knows what he's doing.
Yes. That's for sure. Where did I... Here we go. I have minifigure Kale now.
Oh, very nice. Undoubtedly one of the highlights of that kit.
Yes. I'm excited for this interior.
It's pretty cool. I know what I'm doing sometimes, he says.
Oh, wait. Kale is a coordinator of Octranber, right?
Yes.
Hey, Kale. If I build a 240 with a tender, does it no longer count as a critter?
Shift the output shift from spinning, then stop the output shaft from spinning, then attach to. Oh, I think I follow. I see what he's saying. Sounds glorious. The pen layout is on an extended hiatus. We are putting together a lot of really good ideas for that, but Kale and I live much farther apart than we used to, so it's not like I can just pop over to his house for a weekend and work on it. So that is the short answer.
Everyone is very eagerly awaiting its second version.
So are we.
Finally, I'm on page 4, and the end platforms are done. That definitely took longer than it should have.
It does happen that way.
Glenn, have you thought about entering in Octrainber?
Thought about, yes. It might be weird for me to enter it if I'm judging it, though.
Oh. Has that been decided yet?
I am helping out with it this year,
Okay.
so I am fairly confident I will be assisting in the judging process.
Cool. What category are you most looking forward to seeing entries for?
All of them. I think Kale has got a really good idea for a challenge this year. I am very interested to see the way that people interpret the rules, and very interested in seeing what people submit.
Very nice. A wooden tiled floor.
Oh yes. Plenty of reddish brown in that model.
That's a good thing. I don't have enough reddish brown cars. I've got a reddish brown PS1.
I don't even have one of those.
And let's see. Yeah, reddish brown is not the cheapest color to build in. So I have been avoiding it throughout my time of ordering parts,
Lame.
both um, like because it's my choice and both because I am like in the background not wanting to do it.
Your reasons are your own. I personally think that everybody needs at least 10 reddish brown boxcars, but
Yeah, I believe that as well, but my wallet says otherwise.
I appreciate that.
But a very big long string of reddish brown boxcars does look very, very nice.
Yes. Dawson is here. Welcome, Dawson.
Aha! Another viewer. How are you, Dawson?
TFOL wallet is one of the greatest horrors of the modern world. Been there, experienced that, not going back. Partly
Sort of
because I can't be a
impossible
teenager
for
again.
you to. Yeah,
Actually, I can only be a teenager if I live to be 113.
true. I
So,
suppose that's how the definition works.
technically, yes.
Technically, yes. Good enough for me.
We'll have to see about that. Jobs are nice.
Yes. I wish my local tourist railroad hired before 18.
Good luck.
Yep.
Dawson, I also need to make one of those State of Maine boxcars. I'm glad somebody is, at least.
I think Joseph built one of those recently.
Oh, yeah.
The PS1 version.
Yes. I would like to try to make a 32 ARA version. I think that would be appropriate for that car.
I need to become better at identifying boxcars. Eh, I didn't follow the measure twice, build once rule.
Rough.
Yeah. Oh well. Not a horrible fix.
Could be worse.
Yes.
Been there, had to go back to a lot of things like that. Does happen. Thankfully, most recently, I caught one of those things. I was able to modify it to satisfactory levels without too many challenges. Doesn't
Well,
make it any
that's
less annoying, but
right. Oh well.
yeah, what can you do?
You are considered a super centenarian.
Dawson, I like your humor.
My goal is to live to 95 so I can see the turn of the century. I'm not about that ambitious triple digit goal.
You're close enough. You might as well just stretch it out.
I need to build a 280.
I'm surprised that you haven't yet.
I'm too focused on like 4 different 460s right now.
Lame.
I know. I need to get
280s
with
are the
the.
most numerous type of steam locomotive built in the United States. You haven't built one of them yet.
That's true.
You call yourself a modeler.
I can think of a lot of people who haven't.
They call themselves modelers.
We're not good enough for the title.
I'm joking, but I do genuinely believe that everybody needs a 280. At least one.
I'll
More
get
than
to it
one is
eventually.
more than one is better, but
How many do you have now?
hmm.
How many 280s do you have now?
In my possession, I have two.
Wait, that's it?
Yeah. Well, I built several more. I just keep giving them away.
Out of the S160 and 13
Oh wait, I do have I do have the S160. I have three.
and the SP engine, those are the three that came to mind.
Yep. Then I built another SP engine. Kale has that one. And then
Right.
I have built the San Diego, Arizona, and that's in elsewhere. I'm waiting on a fourth. I have
Yep.
a couple ideas for some in progress in various stages of completion.
Oh, what? That's not a. I'm sitting here for so long looking for a corner brick, and it's a 1x2 and a 1x1
No wonder you can't find it.
next to each other.
Yeah, no wonder you can't find it.
I pulled a Glen, just not 45 minutes.
No, Glen is when you have just one piece in the sea of all the other parts that blends into the background and your building table, and it takes you 45 minutes to find it. There's a difference.
He's got to defend himself.
Facts. Wouldn't want people to get the wrong idea.
Unlike me, Glenn is a professional.
That's what they call it.
There we go. Now I get to do a window.
Windows.
So, what is your opinion on methods to do the wood side of a car with, like the way this one does it, or horizontal stacked plates?
I think horizontal stacked plates are fancy and very nice, but I don't think that but I think that they only work in certain applications. I have certainly tried to do that on a lot of different cars, and it just got a lot easier and far more simple to do it with just stacked bricks, especially in the certain cars that I was after. So I don't necessarily have too big of a preference.
Follow-up question. What is your opinion on putting them in the same train together?
Uh, I don't think that matters that much. They both simulate the same thing, just two different ways of achieving it. One is certainly more cost effective, one looks a little bit better, but
Yeah.
maybe better as in the boards are technically closer to what would be accepted as a scale width for a wooden board on the side of a car. But I mean, I do I do very much appreciate in thinking about using the reefer from BMR as an example. I do really appreciate the way that that's built because you've got tiles on the outside, and the edges of the tiles create a little bit more of a distinction between boards than you would with a stacked plate. It's a little bit like it's going towards trying too hard to capture that effect, but I think it does so very effectively and very cleanly, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So, but I don't have a strong preference one way or the other. If I can use stacked plates, I will, but I most times I find it's just not worth trying to bend over backwards for.
Yeah, sometimes fitting in the door and details in between can be annoying.
Yes, that's one of the things. I have done both within recent months, and both are just as good in my opinion. I have very strong opinions about the way that parts fit together and using those patterns to convey a construction method, particularly on things like tenders and um, any any rolling stock. Very big thing for me is the way that the part edges line up. I have said before that every part that I place on my models has been placed exactly that way with a reason, and the part lines is an example of those kind of reasons. So I think about a lot of things when I design models, not just does it look good or is it scale. But that's just the way that I do it. There's really not a right or wrong answer.
I turned the page and my subassembly got very big very fast.
I'd rather have a studs up tender than a snot tile sided tender. No preference, just whatever works better for that application. I tend to build studs up tenders just because I find that they work just as well. But there's, again, no wrong answer, just whatever works best for what you're doing specifically.
I've been working on one of each recently.
Studs up and studs out.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I need to do more narrow gauge stuff. Now I'm using the sink tile.
I believe I will be sticking around for maybe another 10 minutes or so. Then I will have to bounce.
No problem. It's 7:05 already. I probably won't finish it this time.
Building on stream takes longer than you think.
Yeah, I did not account for that.
That's why I elected not to build my my U2 on stream or my SR71.
That U2 is really cool.
They're both really cool. I'm very happy to have both.
I wish I could afford the F-117.
I feel that.
That's probably my favorite plane ever.
You and Richard Glatter. And probably a lot of other people. I am very much I am a very casual fan of reconnaissance airplanes, so I had to get both of those.
Okay, this goes.
I also had intended to build my Spirit of St. Louis kit on stream, but decided not to do that either. That was a fun model to build. I've noticed on your steam locomotives you design them so the boiler and CAD can be removed easily, but your drivetrains are insanely reliable. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. Well, what is there to talk about? Easily accessible for should I need to take the locomotive apart for whatever reason. I don't mind having to go through a process of disassembling a locomotive. I think that just goes with the territory of model trains. And regardless of how well I think the locomotive is built, something can always go wrong. And should that be the case, I would like to be able to disassemble it with relative ease, or at least know how to disassemble it without having to break a lot of assemblies apart and then stud them all back together. Personal preferences.
The sync assembly is very smart.
Like I said, Kel knows what he's doing.
I need to get better at interiors.
That just means you gotta find diagrams.
Yeah, true. My Sun Lounge interior turned out okay.
Yeah. We were able to acquire a file for this caboose, and it was very helpful.
Nice.
Took a little searching, but always worth it, in my opinion.
Of course.
Do you think the Titanic set should come with an iceberg set free with purchase? I think that's in bad taste. I understand it, but I think that is in bad taste. However, I am very much looking forward to that set, and I definitely will get one at some point.
Yeah, I really want one too. I don't know where I'll put it or what scale it will go with, but it does look very neat.
I certainly do not have any room to put it anywhere. Oh, don't be sorry, Dawson. It's just not to my humor preferences, but I appreciate the thought behind it. I am out of space on my bookshelf, so I have no room for something like Titanic. And I am out of space in a lot of other places in my home as well.
But there's still not enough. Never enough Lego.
Thinking about when I get to the point where I have over 20 locomotives and I can't run them all very often, I probably just have batteries on the side and put them in whatever I run. Yeah, that makes sense. I am also looking forward to having 20 locomotives. 20 locomotives of consistent quality.
Consistent quality. That will be in the year 2049 for me.
You heard it here first, folks.
my quality still needs to improve a great deal.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 good quality steam locomotives that I've published right now, and a couple more on the way. I'll get there. 20s would be a cool number. Could model 1/5 of the entire New York Central L2A class.
Yeah, but then you would just have L2As.
Yeah, who would want to do that?
I mean, it would be an easy way to hit the 20 mark.
Easy, he says.
Well, I mean, you don't have to design a new one each time.
It's a 2,400 part model. But
You could order in bulk.
you are correct. But I could think of much easier locomotives to build in mass quantity to achieve the number of 20 if that is your only objective. I would hate to build that many of the same locomotive.
You're the one who brought it up.
I brought up, or Henry brought up building 20 locomotives, and I said that I would like to build 20 locomotives. And then I said you could build the entirety of that class. I didn't say I would like to do that. Or you could build a fifth of that class.
I could build several entire classes of New York, Ontario, and Western locomotives and still not reach 20.
I find that to be funny.
They had 4 of the one I designed. And I chose a fictional number, so if I did all that, I'd have 5.
It'd be a nice number to have. 50 steam locomotives on your build list. I'm going to look at my list and see if I can just start counting them. I'll pull this thing out right here.
My list changes every minute.
See ones that I haven't actually started yet physically. I'm only going to count those. I count 18 unique locomotives. 19 unique locomotives. And I have plenty more ideas for locomotives that I could move forward with, but we'll see about that. Believe it or not, there are a couple diesel locomotives on my list.
Are any of them SSW?
No, not written on this list. No cotton belt diesels on this list.
My scheme didn't work.
Not that I wouldn't like to have one. It's just not ranking currently on that project list.
I don't know how well my stove is going to fit.
Mine fit all right. I quite like that design.
Yeah, the top keeps falling off, so hopefully it, once I put the roof on, it holds in there.
2 big boys would be very nice, Henry. Especially one for display.
Henry the big boy man.
Hashtag big boy foamer.
All right, self-admitted foamer right there.
If you like trains, you are a foamer. Whether you agree with it or not.
Mm,
I cannot be convinced otherwise.
that's a very... I'm not sure how I feel about your statement.
You don't have to feel anything about it.
So what is the difference between a foamer and a rail fan then?
They're the same thing. Dawson, I would love to see your take on a Union Pacific locomotive. It would be out of your wheelhouse, and thus very interesting.
I probably will never get to one because of priorities, but it would probably be a Pacific if I did.
A Union Pacific.
Yes, Pacific squared.
I respect that. I think that would be a very neat collection of Union Pacific to model. I think I only have 3, maybe 4 Union Pacific classes that I'd like to model.
I think their Harriman 280s are also very cool.
Yep, that's one of them. I've already built a Harriman. I've already built 3 Harriman 280s, so what's a 4th at this point? All right. Well, it's 8:20 here. I'm gonna hop off. Thanks for having me on, Conrad.
Yes, thank
Enjoy
you for
your night.
joining.
Dawson and Henry, hope you guys enjoy your evenings. I will. I'm sure I'll talk to you all guys at some point in the future.
Appreciate it.
See you guys later.
Conrad, do the 49er? I don't think so. Nice try. You already know my opinions on the 49er. It's okay, Dawson. No one can type 100% correctly 100% of the time. Yes, Henry is the type master. Right now I'm working on the interior and parts of the windows. My stove broke again. Glenn has to teach me the magic of his stove staying together. Well, are people in the comments working on if they feel like sharing? Anything neat? Henry's got to head out. Bye, Henry. You converted your 280 from 8 wide to 9 wide. That's very interesting. Was it difficult to convert like that? I know there are pros to 9 wide, but the steam locomotive that I have right now only has an 8 wide cab and tender. Took a day and allowed me to space in the tender for electronics. More detail in the cab. Yeah, more detail in the cab is... If I ever converted my 460, that's what it would be for, because right now it's pretty bare. I've also been hesitant on doing that because I'm just not very good at backhead and cab detail. Oh, good that it's running smoother. I appear to be putting together cubbies right now. Am I participating in October? I don't know yet because I need an answer on whether or not the thing I want to do is actually considered a critter. It's a really small 240, but it has a tender, so it's up in the air right now whether I do or not. Um, and I'm also torn because if I did actually participate, I would build the model physically, which would be uh, a setback right now because I need to be ready for the Brick Train Awards in February, and I have some big things coming up for that. So um, I need to plan accordingly, and I really don't want to submit something digital because I know those don't hold the same weight in judging as it's stated in the rules. I wouldn't get as much mileage if I were to spend the time and only design it. Yeah, acceptance is the number one thing I'm waiting to hear on right now because it's a neat engine, but if it's tender, which has 8 axles on it, I mean, not eight, 4 axles on it, 8 wheels. Um, if that is not, if it's considered too large at that point, then it wouldn't be worth my time to make a submission because none of the other categories really super grabbed me. Maybe electrics to do like a steeple cab or something, but also powering it becomes an issue at that point because I have to look into like third-party motors and battery alternatives that are smaller, and it just becomes a mess. And it's nice that we have until mid-November to get it done, but even at that point, school is keeping me very busy right now. So from where I'm sitting, I would say probably not. Oh, oops. I put a normal 1x1 where I needed a printed part. Silly me. There we go. All right, time to do the doors. Circuit cube is a good option. Yeah, I've heard people are starting to use that more. That and Studley Train's micro motors would be the first two things I would look into. This utilizes the pearl gold roller skate pieces for door handles, which I think is neat. I've always been a fan of that piece in any color. On my stove. It's giving me trouble again. It's neat, but it keeps falling off. Oh, I need two more end posts. Are you ever going to build a layout? That's a good question. So I 2 years ago started the Central Texas Lego Train Club with a couple friends of mine. And so we have about half of a layout done now. And recent parts just came in. And we're going to start expanding on what we have, and hopefully we can finish it before the summer of next year. So we can do local displays. It's nothing fancy. It's about 6'2" by like 4'8" or something. R72 curves built on Mills modules. And we've also done some other local displays at the library, which just involve a layer of base plates plus R104 curves. So the kids usually enjoy that when we do it, and it's a nice time. Are there any updates to the Dawson plus other New England club members? Aren't you guys working on a collaborative setup? All right, final window going in. Oh, unless I drop a piece. Right now we have about 3 or 4 layout sections being built. You're trying to attend a show soon. Oh, very nice. The ballasting demos that were posted looked very realistic. So I'm excited for what you guys have in store. My printed parts are going on. New York Central. Waiting on the last parts orders for my station, and then I'll post some pictures. Awesome. Stations are always very necessary additions to any layout. They provide good scenes. Your station is 14.5 inches tall? Tall? Wow. That's very impressive. I'm ready to see it. What railroads did it serve? I'm assuming it's probably something to do with um, Maine Central. Thirty and a half inches wide. Those are substantial numbers. Huh. In the instruction book and the rendering on the box, there's a white outlining to the New York Central logo, but on my parts there isn't. Weird. I kind of prefer it with the white outlining, but oh well. 6,700 pieces in the station. Wow. Boston and Maine. Okay, and Maine Central. That sounds very interesting. 6,700 pieces. You just know it's going to be a big structure then. Different railroad, but someone once told me that the Boston and Albany, to avoid paying taxes on its income, just spent most of what they had left over on building super duper ornate and high class stations. And so, on many places on the Boston and Albany, even if it was a small town, because they had so much extra money to spend that they didn't want to pay taxes on, you'd have super fancy stations out in the middle of nowhere. So I thought that was pretty cool. I'll do flex tubing later. I don't want to do that now. This has definitely been a very neat build so far. Making progress. Got the body done. Conway Scenic Station has a Victorian style. I would like to make it up there one day. They have some really, really nice equipment. I am very rarely in that part of the country, though. I think I'm going to end it pretty soon because I have run out of things to talk about. And the constant video of just my face, because I am not allowed to show what I'm doing, is probably not that interesting. So I might give it 5 more minutes or so, and I'll call it a night. I'm not quite done yet, and I probably won't do a part 2. I'll probably finish it on my own. And that's that. Some very cool, more printed parts going over the doors. Yeah, I have now gotten to the underside, which takes forever and is very tedious. So I think that's going to be that for tonight. I'll make sure this is where I got tonight. I won't show too much, but I appreciate people joining, and I know it was kind of long and not too eventful, but I didn't have much else to do tonight, so I chose this. I've been enjoying the kit so far and hope to finish it soon, and I will see everyone later.